Hi everyone, I've been asked about these little ditties here, non-return valves. Someone asked me, when do you use these things and what would they primarily do? So I'm going to take you through that. This is one here, you can get them go copper to copper as well, straight on copper pipe. This particular one is a female one, but I'll show you the valve. Look, if you look inside there, there's a little spring return valve like that, you see. Now the idea is, if I blow through this, I can blow through that way. If I try to blow the other way, not a chance. Okay, so what it does, it allows a flow of water through in one direction. So, where are we going to use these things? Where do you find them? I'll show you somewhere else where you find it, where you got these valves, and that is in one of these common garden hose tap. These days, the more modern ones have one incorporated inside. Again, this is to stop water being sucked up. If you was filling a fish pond and you opened a tap indoors, it could be possible to draw water up out of that fish pond and into your drinking water. So you will find that a lot of times you have these on there already when you buy them. But if you've got one of the old ones, then you may well need to fit one of these. So I'm going to take you over to a drawing now. We'll put that down there and there and show you the typical places. Now here's a typical one. I've seen non-return valves on the main and the roof tank, because here's our tap outside, and here's where you'd put a non-return valve if you had one of the old-fashioned taps that didn't have it included, to try and prevent anything from going back down that pipe towards your kitchen tap when it's opened. And also, if the valve dropped, if the water level rose and you had one of these little feeder valves on there, the valve could be underwater, and again you could suck tank water down in your cold main down below. Very easy to draw it back down, so sometimes you often see them there as well. Further on, main use for these things is usually on a mixer tap. Quite often you'll see them on a wash basin. You'll have a cold knot tap, and when you open the hot tap, it's very, very slow. So what happens, you can open the cold and the hot tap together to wash your hands, and what happens is the mains is so powerful it speeds back down the hot pipe and starts filling it with real cold water. So the idea is to get a non-return valve on the hot feed from your tap, from your mixer tap, to prevent the water from going back down and filling the pipe up with cold water. So then when you turn the hot tap back on, you're only going to get the cold water back first, but if you have one of those on, it won't at all, and you'll continue to get hot water. And that is a real common use for these non-return valves. I mean, other uses I've seen, obviously combi boiler. Sorry about the crude drawing, but on the mains you'd often see one here, and that's to stop any hot water from being drawn back down. Other uses, let's see, it's over this side here. I've seen them on an under sink heater. I've had to fit many of these. You get a 12-litre tank under a sink, and it would be to deliver instant hot water to a tap. So there's our tap, and there's our tap here coming off the heater. And what you would get the main would come up, and you get your non-return valve be fitted here. This would just be a pressure vessel, and that would be the inlet. And the idea again of having that there is that no hot water gets drawn back through to your tap, and that's to stop that from happening. Again, it's just a safety thing. You don't want any of that going back into the drinking water. So that is main plumbing uses. There's probably lots more, but they are a really handy gadget to have if you're worried at all about getting any kind of water back into your drinking side. So there we are. That's it for non-return valves. Just a quickie, just to let you know, as I had an inquiry about them. They're not a mystery, they're no big deal, but they are very handy devices, especially if you're worried about any kind of drinking water being contaminated. Okay, that's about it from me. Usual place for all my videos, Derrickton33.com. Thanks very much for watching. Bye bye.